Welcome back to the renovation series. This is episode 11. Most of the major projects in this house are finally behind me, and I've been waiting for this moment, the part where the sawdust settles and I can start layering in the details that truly make a house feel like a home. This week, I'm shopping my stash and giving some thrifted finds a fresh life in the hallway and dining room, and I'm also building a DIY coat rack shelf, a simple project that adds both function and charm. Last week, we made some DIY floating shelves for the kitchen, and I'll be using the same custom stain on this shelf, so check out that video if you haven't already and subscribe so you can join the journey. Remember where this room started? We tested out so many paint colors until we found the perfect shade of green, and that weird shelf finally came down. Since the entrance we use most is through the kitchen, there isn't currently a spot to hang coats or bags or a place to put your shoes, so I wanted to create that along this wall. I'm designing a very simple shelf using 2x6 boards mirroring the shelves that I put in the kitchen. I ripped the rounded edge off the front to give them more of a polished look. The board that sits on top, I did cut it a little bit narrower so it doesn't intrude too far into the space when you're coming from the hallway. I'll show you exactly what I mean in just a second. This is for the long shelf, right? This is going to be the front. This goes along the wall. This is the top edge. This is the top piece of my shelf. I want it to go like this, right? So I need to drill some pocket holes here because I'm going to screw it together like this. I don't know why it took me so long to discover the genius of a pocket hole jig, but these little suckers are great. They are an absolute game changer when it comes to DIY projects. They make strong, precise joints a breeze, and they save you so much time. And the best part is, you can typically find them at yard sales. So keep your eyes peeled when you're out there snooping through other people's garages. Moment of truth, did I do it right? I think so. Now I went ahead and marked out all my studs, and make sure you're using your level whenever you're hanging anything. That way it'll feel way more professional. All right, I'm going shopping and all of my stuff. You guys haven't even really seen up here, but I've been collecting. Oh, we could add these. This one for sure. Probably grab that mirror. Look at how cool this lamp is. We might put this in the kitchen. I'm just gonna go ahead and bring all of my artwork down. All right, what's 37.5 divided by 2?
18 3/4.
You sure?
Yeah.
Cool.
Bam! Bam!
Bam! When you're trying to hang something that has these type of hooks that are on the back, one of the easiest hacks you can do is just get a piece of tape and put across the screw holes. You just mark your screw holes and then you mark your middle part. Then you can take this off and put it on your wall. So you have your center line. So you'll be able to match up the center line on your wall with the center line on your tape.
Oh my God.
What about those ships? Those right there on the table. Yeah, definitely. Patents, yes. Those, yes. I think everything is a yes. This might be too big. And then do we want to do something that has like a different shape other than a rectangle? Or do we want to save these for the bedroom? Oh, you want your baseball player next to your baseball stuff?
Yeah.
I have these little braces. I think they're for like little like porch posts, but I have them and I just want to put a little bit of extra support for this top shelf. All right, we're gonna do it where the longer part is facing the top. We're gonna do one on each end and then two kind of in the middle. So the spacing, these are about 30.5 inches apart. So, all right, moving on to our hooks. Believe it or not, I had 6 hooks left over. So those will be perfect to go right in the in-betweens. Oh, it feels so good to use like random things that have been in your garage for like years. Now those hooks have a place to go and I can throw away this bag. This little shelf looks so good. I love it. I went through my artwork stash, pulled what I thought might be good for here. Just for context, this house is in a very historically rich area in the Hudson Valley. So that's why I kind of wanted to stick to a little bit more of a historic theme. I really love these. These are like baseball patent sketches. I thought that was so fun. I mean, that is like very Americana, you know what I mean? Mark put Christy Matheson in this frame. I don't love it, but he does, so maybe we keep it that way. So these are plaster walls. This house is 100 years old. So plaster, if you're not familiar, is really hard to deal with. So I want to be like 100% sure on placement of all of this stuff before I just start willy-nilly putting little tack nails in. So what I think I'm gonna do is do that whole like gallery wall hack where you get the paper and you cut out the paper the size of all of your artwork and then you put the paper up on the wall. I think I'm gonna do that so I don't just put holes all over and like get crumbly walls, you know what I mean? Okay, I like that because it references the red thing on the wall in the dining room and also the red of the kitchen. Like, right, you can see the red of the kitchen, the deep red of that, red, red. I like this. Can you go a little bit lower? Like lower? Go like 4 inches lower. Okay. That looks good. I like that there, but I feel like we need something, we need like more. Like the space needs more than just a mirror. So what if you went that way? If we did something like this?
Yeah.
Why don't you move that this way a little bit?
Yeah.
Or what if you moved it that way and we put like a candle thing in the middle?
That would be perfect.
Okay.
No way.
I think that's pretty perfect. You want to go down a little bit? We'll check. So we just adjusted this for height because the wire actually came up just to the top. But look, this is red, green, and white. Is this the Italian flag? Like, is this Italian? Look at this. How cool is that? Anyway, okay. All right, so prices on this little thrifted gallery wall. This came from Goodwill, it was $4. This came from Habitat, I think it was like $1. This came from Habitat, it's $4. I think this one was $2, and the mirror was the most expensive at $30. So now that we have the layout, I just need to clean everything. This mat is a little bit crooked, so I'll take this down and fix that. And then I have like the glass like globe thing that sits in here. So that will fill out the rest of the dead space. And then I need to find something for here to print out, and then we'll put that in there. But looking good so far. But I'm digging it, you guys. It's totally getting there. I found some clearance rugs at Sam's Club. That's not gonna go in the dining room, but it'll go somewhere. But it's coming together. The narrower top shelf is the perfect depth. You can still place a small vase or a decorative item on it, but but it doesn't intrude into the space or create any hazards for when you're turning the corner from the hallway. Seeing how small touches like artwork, thrifted finds, and simple DIYs can completely transform a space is always so rewarding. It's proof that you don't need a fully finished house to start making it feel like home. You just need a little creativity, a little patience, and the willingness to try. I hope this episode inspires you to tackle something small but meaningful in your own home. Thanks for joining me today, and I can't wait to show you what comes next on this journey. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss it.